So, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Redstone Quarry podcast, episode 58 today. And yeah, we're here with two other people, so let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm Niels.
I'm Raf.
And I'm Wout, and me isn't here today, unfortunately. So it's probably going to be a bit of a shorter one, considering he usually talks the most. But let's see what we can do. First of all, editorial, because there's nothing really to say, right?
No.
Okay. All right, then let's go straight to the follow-up. TRQ 57 relit. Um, so who wants to start?
Not me.
Ah, come on, people. Anyway, the backer team says I can go to the library and ask for the book. Well, I guess it's partially worked considering he's Dutch, but it's not that famous, and especially asking a librarian for a random quote from even a famous book is not gonna help you much, I think. So
Well, there are some people who know for if you say them a sentence or a 10-second clip, they will know what episode of what season of and what timestamp it has or something for shows or
yeah,
books. So
but it's not
it's
such a
maybe
famous book.
it's still well, it's still possible.
Yeah, well, I know. Um, like it's not that's definitely definitely has quite some readers. Like I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know, like some of the people I know IRL have read it as well, but just don't talk about it because anyway. But it's not a very famous book at all. I did actually get some things from Charcoal this week because well yeah, I should probably first mention I think I got a PM from Azelef, considering it's private. I guess I can't mention too much, but um, basically he asked me if I should maybe add more questions or will the stay here there forever to show the collective failure of the viewers, and probably the second one, though. Nice suggestion. Actually, I didn't think of it that way yet. And then I also got Charcoal, who asked me a lot of questions this week surrounding the book because he's really trying it. It seems like Mr. Creeper tried quote 9, and now people actually try and quote 10. But I think they're gonna have a lot of a harder time though, unfortunately. So um, basically, amongst other things, Charcoal sent me. He asked me a bunch of questions. I didn't really give any decent information because I think if I'm giving out any hints, it should be towards everyone. However, what he did ask, he did give me 9 questions, and well, I actually didn't review it before the podcast. I did quickly check them, but I thought possibly I could we could make a poll where we put the ones up which I think don't give away too much, and then people can vote, and the one with the most votes, I will answer them. Like we can use alternative votes, and it will be one vote, so hopefully we get a bit more votes in, so we can actually use the alternative vote probably. But
Yeah,
yeah, otherwise maybe we should just go with
because with
straw
only
poll next
three
time.
entries, it's yeah. No
It's
matter what
basically for
voting
us to
thing,
post and like
what fancy voting method you use, it's always just not
there's,
working
there's
because
lots of
it's
problems with ties. Yeah.
just three entries. But you may have
Well,
some more questions.
I should probably mention the questions first, and like yeah, we will link to the poll down in the description, and then afterwards, I guess we will decide which ones we are going to keep. So, outro quotes when questions poll. So basically, the ones with the most votes will get an answer by what deadline should we set for this voting? Maybe more than
2
1 week,
weeks.
considering. Yeah, like let's say the.
No, wait. Don't give a deadline now. We'll give the deadline next week.
Sure. So at least still at the publishing date of the next podcast, probably a couple days after. Um. Okay, so now let's quickly cover the questions. First of all, was the book written in the 1800s? Was it published for the Dutch school system? Why did you have to choose this quote, XD? When did you refer to it when you refer to it as it has some critical acclaim, how many critics does some apply? Um, if it has some critical acclaim, then why have you not found anyone else who has read it? Have you actually tried to search for the book online, or are you just assuming that it is available? Is it internationally published, or will I just have to attempt to search on the Dutch internet more than I already have? 8. Do you like tacos? And 9. Is a chestnut tree a ghost? So I tried to read those in the most neutral manner. I definitely have some answers to some of them, but I'm not giving them yet. Huh. Anyway, so yeah, Paul.
Vote for the tacos one.
Yes, it's the
Wanna
most
know?
informative. I will keep that one up there probably. We may remove a couple of them if they're not too informative, but oh well, we'll see.
If that one wins.
Yeah, do I like taco?
It's basically.
Who knows?
Basically, if you vote for the tacos one, if you don't win any hints.
Yeah, I mean that's like you want maybe you want to make it challenging for everyone, so you
Well,
can steal the prize
knowing
here.
these questions, you still have some hints that this might be related to it. So.
Well, I
Already.
don't think I really gave much away by reading these. Like this is what's charcoal considered worth asking, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
think
but Charcoal got the last one right.
No, that was Mr. Creeper.
Damn it, I'm messing up. Do you have
Yes.
in the future no more of these quests? If
Maybe we.
because he asked about if you were adding new questions.
Well, I don't have any plans to add any more until we solve quote number 10, which I don't see happening anytime soon. So, not really.
So basically, Mr. Creeper, start working on your Dutch. You have a great language to learn.
Actually, Charcoal is the one who's doing most of the investigation this time. But you messed up the name again. Anyway, I think the most realistic method to get this issue mystery solved is crowdsourcing. Like, if the podcast were to have a really large audience at some point, which I consider quite unlikely, then I think that's the most realistic way of just someone who happens to remember a book which that line could have come from. Yeah. Anyway, so continuing to other stuff. I guess where should we start? Did anyone read Yewe's
Half-book?
comments?
No.
Normally enemy does. Yewe, what if we just give this to homework as homework to enemy, and he just covers both of them next week? I'm sorry.
And he has two books. And he has a full book for next week.
Oh my god. Oh great. I already have to read enough all the books. So yeah, that'll be that. Then Pablo Villegas says
Pablo Villegas.
Villegas. I know.
Get the Spanish right, Wout. Villegas.
Well, we're
Maybe
not
it's
speaking
Portuguese.
Spanish, and
I
we're
don't know.
saying everything in English, so yeah.
You still haven't. You still don't get it right to pronounce words stupidly. It's not
Okay.
how you pronounce
How
it.
do you pronounce it?
Well, you cannot.
Villegas.
Well,
Niels,
Raf-
Niels. Shh. Go on, Raf.
Pablo Villegas.
Aha.
So
Pablo
he said, I
Villegas.
really enjoyed this
Okay.
podcast. Happy face, keep it up! Exclamation mark.
Yay!
Well,
Thanks.
thank you.
So that comment, which was supposed to be dealt with in 10 seconds, took like a minute. Oh well. Then Sheen says, so about race ghost mode, an easy 1.8 ghost mode is simply pushing a ghost block into a bed and then sleeping in the bed. Fun time, Mr. MC Max. I'm not sure if Sheen has a video of that. Like, would be nice if we could link, but oh, well, anyway, however, this is not method Ray used for two reasons. One, he doesn't know how to reproduce it, and two, he can place blocks anywhere in the world, which means he can accidentally enter the portal ghost mode, which is what I believe causes strange ghost mode, because I too have been in this kind of ghost mode on accident on a server a friend hosted. Comments. I know nothing about ghost mode basically. No? Well, I'm afraid we'll have to keep the viewers on. I'm sorry. So, then we go to Mr. Creeper's comment, which we will have to kind of shorten for a bit. So, am I the only one who finds research fun? Well, apparently not, considering Charcoal is doing a lot of it.
he just wants the points, and then it's more competition, and then we will get them first.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe.
Mr. Creeper.
So, the way I see it, you have a huge database to search through, but at the end of the day, you know it contains the answer, and you can use that as your motivation to never give up. Well, if your
Whereas
database is like the collective of human knowledge, then sure, I guess, but it's a bit big. So I'm not sure, but if you're motivated, I guess, if you find it fun.
The database is just the entire internet. It must be somewhere.
It is somewhere on the internet. Well,
There's
like
probably
the book is somewhere on the
Belgian
internet,
site
but like
where you can buy the book.
you can't tell, like you can't look at you can't link the quote to the book on the internet. But I have looked for the book, and it is on the internet.
It's like a infamous quote from the book. Just
Yeah, like you won't be able to. No, you won't be able to find
page
it. Like
100. these were
No.
lines.
Anyway,
It says
I
it
shouldn't say too
ends
much more
with
about
that
it.
quote. So
Yeah, indeed, it ends with it. So possibly page 100, possibly not. Who knows?
you do.
Well, not by heart. I don't know. Anyway, so let's just continue. Book report of the week. Block 36 is non-solid. Did we already discuss this one?
Wasn't it the
Block
one?
36 is not
Wasn't that the
solid.
one from last week?
Yeah, like I think pistons pop off blocks on top of when retracting. Oh well. Either way. Then lol, the Americans thing was just a joke. Hearing Europeans speak English is actually quite fun and different. I think more members, regardless of nationality, would be pretty cool. Nerdy, Tiddle, or Yewe. I don't know. Guess we can't discuss everything in public, but Tiddle doesn't talk a lot, I think.
Tiddle doesn't talk a lot if it's not in Spanish. Which might call it nerdy, too
Ni
unreliable.
parle Spanish.
Nerdy is a very interesting person, but he can be a bit
Nerdy-
like hyperactive at times. So
Nerdy
I'm not
is,
sure.
is very good at French.
Well, in a sense, I guess. Maybe as good as us. So.
Wait a moment. And Jerry, well, we had Jerry a few episodes, but I think he needs to get a new microphone.
It was also a bit hard audio-wise, yeah. And someone was getting a bit frustrated. That someone not being me or Raf. Oh well. And apparently someone also needs a new chair. So yeah. And that that person apparently equals Raf. So it's a single equal sign. So it's I'm totally not reading this from the TeamSpeak chat, of course, which Niels doesn't want me to read while I'm talking. But oh man, we're not getting along at all, are we? I don't get the joke anymore at this point, but okay, Niels is now defining macros in chat. I didn't know he knew C, but well, actually not C.
In PHP they also use it.
Oh, PHP. Never mind. Okay.
You know the
Yeah,
PHP
I was like,
party?
Run away from PHP. Why are you
it's
doing
C. It's C. It's
PHP?
with a
Just
with
run
a
away from
hashtag
it.
thingy. He's using
Well-
dollar signs. Oh well.
Well,
So-
for school I have to do PHP.
I think I
Why?
should now hate you because like that's what that was like in these days, like hate on PHP. So, but I don't know it myself.
Why?
Yeah. If you see PHP, just run away. Just run.
Just run away. Yeah, of course.
Okay,
It's
I will
really
follow
bad.
your advice.
Run from the class.
Yeah, this random guy
Same-
from Spain
same
he
if you
said I
see
have to
Lua.
run.
Same if you see Lua, because Lua is bad. Well, in Lua, array starts at 1, and unlike in any decent programming language for computers, so yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like I
that's
don't
pretty bad.
I don't really like it that much after I heard all those points, but apparently I didn't even notice a couple of years ago when I was writing my turtle programs. So, like for basic stuff, it seems to be alright, I guess. But
Yeah,
though I
it's alright.
still prefer Python.
But specifics? Yeah.
The only time I used it was once in computer craft, and it was for some kind of door lock. I typed the entire thing I saw on the internet page, and that's all I did with Lua. Someone else we know described it as was Java, but then with more typing actual words and less brackets and stuff. I don't know what he exactly said. He
Well, yeah,
compared
like
it
the
to some
syntax.
other language at least.
Use if then else and like and isn't the statement which is used. Sorry, a keyword. Yeah, a keyword which is used in a lot of languages, but it is in Lua. Anyway, onto other comments. Mr. Creeper says, Mumbo's older content was actually pretty good in my opinion, but I can't blame him for worsening the video quality over the years. His channel grew to the size very unexpectedly. And starting out as a small returner, no one plans to become super successful on YouTube. It takes a lot of time to find good ideas and produce high quality content, and it's possible to keep up with that demand while still uploading consistently. I don't expect Mumbo to have videos of the same quality as Marin because Marin doesn't upload 3 times a week, or to make a living and please his fans. I guess that sums up my view as well in a sense. Like back in the day, I think he had some interesting like first of all, I used to care more about Redstone back then, so that's also a bit of a thing. But yeah, like now it's usually not too special.
It's like, oh, this is a thing, it works, it's not the best. Oh,
Yeah, like
now I make a slightly improved version. Oh, and I can make another video of copying it over 50 times in MC Edit and call it too small. Yay!
I don't. I personally don't find that interesting. I find it surprising that you would find it interesting if you copy stuff over 50 times. Like, too small. Like, from what I've seen, it just seems to be a bit
Just
copying. Like,
copying spawners in so many locations, and well, you cannot make this. Yeah, you can if Wout fixes his machine and his
oh come
and,
on! Don't even
and
start.
his filter. But
It's on the filter. Oh well. Anyway,
well,
like
for you, any program you write is a filter, so I just call it a filter. But yeah,
well, funny story. I like on the ifs one, I had a fair bit of comments of people saying, well, some people said Memo needs to see this, which he did, by the way. And then also a lot of people said this needs to be in Memo's Too Small series. Like, this isn't really like entirely how Too Small works, as far as I understand. Like, there's
and
actual limitations which were limiting this until well this design. Oh well.
and if member uses it in too small, I think you should. Yeah, remember you get money for this. I want 20%.
Uh,
Let's go with
I,
30.
I guess it goes into the whole crediting thing. I don't know what to think about that. Like, because I mean, of course they are making money, but you also gain exposure. So it's, I don't think it's easy to. That's a whole other discussion. Like, how much credit do you deserve as a map maker, as a Redstone, or who gets showcased on other channels and stuff.
Well,
Like,
if you don't have a link, if your link is not in the description, then how much
well, yeah, like
credit
most
do you
people seem
really
to
get?
think it's like a minimal requirement that your link should be in the description, but some people say, all right, maybe it should be at the top of the description so people don't have to like scroll down. Um,
I
like
only
some people say you
like.
should also link to the channel and the video. Like,
To the
that,
channel
and
and video, no. Just the video. It's like
yeah,
if
Neil, but that
you're
is your review on it. Like, this, I have yet to see the community come
My
to an
view.
agreement on this.
if you
Lemos
write
has different views on it from like who started the whole controversy back in the day. The Q magnet, right, over diversity too. I'll link to diversity too, I guess. Though
and
even though the
his
map itself doesn't
channel,
have too much to do with
very
the whole
important.
show.
But
Yeah, like I
if
don't do
you're
it in here, but like sometimes you can do it in. I don't also don't do it in videos because then I would have to link twice as much. But some people do it, and I
yeah, it's
understand in a sense.
already running out of description. But if
Yeah,
My
that's also
view
true.
in.
if you if you reference something with the APA norm, you only just have to give the link to the article you found. You also don't have to give a link to the homepage because yeah, this company wrote this. It's just a link to the article itself. That should be good enough.
Well, I do
The
understand that
same with
people do.
video. If you have a link to the video, if you really just want the channel, you can click further. And if you
Yeah,
want to
yeah, I
subscribe
know,
to the
of
channel,
course. But the thing is
the
that
same
people.
button is there.
Niels, can you please? Okay, well, actually, I shouldn't tell you that, considering I often interrupt you guys as well. But well, I think it's true. So, but about the channel, like I kind of get that people do it sometimes, considering like often people's complete videos are based on others' creations. So they're like, this person made something, and you can subscribe to them down in the description, and then they link to that channel. So, and the video sometimes. So anyway, but like I personally usually go with the video and mention in the video in the video itself.
Mention it in the audio itself, and I also think that it should be in the visible part of the description without click on show more. That's my
See,
view
that's
on
something I
proper
personally don't
rating.
do, even though I
Yeah,
know there's
because
been
it's
discussion about
impossible.
that. No, well, you
I,
can do that for like one or two links, but like I have
yeah,
my format and I kind of like it, which is
yeah.
basically I
How
put
can you
like,
fit 30 links in there in the first 2 lines?
but not for Shownotes. Ah, damn it, Neil, stop trying to like ridiculize this or whatever. Like make fun of this whole discussion. Like this is a very serious topic for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like that, like I would say some of the biggest drama in the Minecraft community came from this very issue of crediting map makers, crediting map makers and such. But yeah, I'll link to diversity too, even though it has little to do with actual issue. But it just happened to be the map which sparked a lot of controversy surrounding it. I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff, but anyway. Um, so anyway, yeah, with the ifs one, wait, I didn't even get back to this. Yeah, it's not that important anyway. With the ifs one, like you can't just make that by copying 4 2x2 doors over or something, I guess. But that's that. I suppose we're kind of out of that topic. So yeah, there's some responses to Mr. Creeper's comments which we won't cover. This is the day late, says Strawberry, blame TRQ. Well, why was it late again? Like, What happened? I forgot already.
Out of
Lack of
background
background
footage.
footage.
Ah, yeah, right. Background footage.
And
So yeah.
with school stuff. No time to
Enemy
record
wasn't
background
digging his
footage.
holes as he should. That
And,
was the main
and
problem.
a while ago, I had plenty of background footage, and someone, two other people, hey, can I also do maybe background footage if you need it? I said, yeah, if I need it, I will ask. I asked, and now, no time for background footage.
What, you mean me?
No, I think enemy said it, or no, back then Norwegian said that once, or Dark.
Well, like if it's months ago, then you can't really expect it from them. But
yeah, but still, it's multiple people have had an offer to do background footage if I need it. But then back then I had time, but now I don't have time for once. And then yeah, it's sad. But it's not that big of a deal if it's one too late, right?
no, I suppose it isn't. Like right now we're recording on Monday, so I would be very happy if it's already out tomorrow.
You don't have to say that. Shh.
Well, that's our excuse this time. We couldn't get the schedule figured out. It's basically because I knew wasn't there, was half an hour late, and I had to leave because I was studying. Anyway,
According to the schedule, it should have been done 33 minutes ago.
Yes, the schedule.
We should have
So,
finished.
Yes,
Whatever.
let's just continue. Robbie notifies us that while we are reading this, Yewe is probably writing Harry Potter 8. Two things are wrong here. First of all, he wrote it already. Secondly, it's actually not Harry Potter 8, but Harry Potter 8 Part 1. Because you have to milk those movies, right? Oh well. Also because he writes half books, not books. That's our joke. Oh well. Actually, I don't know.
If it's half, shouldn't it be 8.5?
8 Part 1, I think also works. Anyway, well, actually, I don't know if the Harry Potter book series would have been better off with one last movie. Some people say that the 7 Part 1 is just the one you skip, but I don't know. It's been a while since I watched them.
I watched the first couple, and then from the later ones, I watched one, but I haven't seen the others.
Okay.
We'll
I thought they
probably
were.
say the same. Oh, you also missed that movie. Yes.
I've read some of the books and I've watched like all the movies at least once. I think maybe at least twice actually. I'm not sure. Oh well, either way, like we have them all at home, so like something I used to watch during the exams sometimes when I was bored, and I was like, no, Wout, we're not gonna go on our computer because discipline, and then we just end up watching an entire movie.
I can see that same thing.
Yeah.
I have to learn. Don't turn on the computer. But then you watch series on TV all the time.
Yeah. Oh well. Then Yebe's half book, which we will cover next week. Though we will put the link in the show notes so people can
Is
read
this
it if
half
they want
book
to.
the same size as last week?
Even
I don't know.
bigger.
Oh well, then the time the podcast gets uploaded or published, it doesn't have any influence on.
Yebe, I think if you expect us to read this, then you should at least give us a title, though.
Maybe a TLDR in less than 500 words.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I said maybe you should expect that kind of stuff, but I never said we would. Huh. I just wanted him to make a title because it would be funny. Like now I just have to say Yebe's comment link. Else I can be like the legends of the mysterious ghost mode made by Ray, and then Yebe's comment on it. That's a lot more interesting. So that's that. Then some comments by Charcoal. What? No breaking, entering, no hacking, no blackmail. This is outrageous. Now I'm just asking every random Dutch person I know, which would be Wout and one other person. We already discussed that.
But Wout isn't even Dutch.
Well, Dutch speaking, I guess. So, so I'm guessing that Wout had to get the book for a class, and he ended up liking it. On an enemy, so we have to basically find someone who is a native Dutch speaker, who is also fluent in English, and is familiar with the type of literature Wout likes. So basically, what I'm hearing is we have to find Wout. I'm telling you, like, I've said this before, and I'm still gonna say this. Like, I think if you look at the writing style, that you can already, not for sure, but you can make some decent guesses about the kind of book. Like, I think that people aren't looking at the text enough. Even though they are looking more at it than they used to. Like, they used to just like copy paste it into Google without even checking. So this is an improvement, but oh well. I think you can think, like, not just from the content, but also from the way it's written. You can deduce a bit about the book. But that's maybe just me. Like, I'm very biased, of course. Anyway,
Yeah,
so good
because
luck.
you know the answer.
Wow, this
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes, of course I'm crazy for liking a book. Yeah. I don't like reading a lot. Like last time I read I think the last book I read voluntarily, like fiction, would be like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Part 4, which I read like in when I was 15 or 16. So that was a long time ago already. Oh well. Yeah,
Wout is
I don't like.
28.
No, I'm
It's
18.
a long time ago.
It's not that
Almost
long, I guess.
close enough.
Like book fans will probably hate me now if they hear that I probably haven't really read a fiction book in like the past 2 years.
Was last week. I only read one book a week.
Yeah, basically. Well, I'm almost done reading my operating systems book, but well, not almost. I'm like
Well, that's
5 or
also
Your
6.
reading.
bullshit book?
Yeah, but I said fiction. That's why. Like I have also read a philosophy book last summer and twice, but that was also fiction, non-fiction. So yeah, Wout included me in the list of American players. All the interesting stuff I have found, I haven't time to make a video on. Well, then go ahead. Kazuma also does really simple stuff. I hate. Well, I guess we're going into the atom stuff again, but we started, so I guess we have to cover it as well.
Yeah, but now if you mention it next week, we started it.
Well, we
Yeah,
can't continue going. Like topics always die off after a while, so I think it's alright. Kazuma also does real simple stuff. I hate how he knows like nothing about a lot of game mechanics. Like in the Summercraft series, he is removing grass from the spawn chunks. I don't get why that would be a problem. Like, I don't. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something here, but isn't the whole point of removing grass from the spawn chunk that animals don't spawn there? Like, I'm missing some context probably as well. But well, like I don't see what's inherently wrong with doing that. Like, I can see a reason for doing that even on servers. But yeah, like you need to get all animals out. So maybe he doesn't know that. Then like he doesn't plan on doing that. I don't know. Either way, and he didn't even know about lacing chunks until Impulse told him about it, and he still doesn't really know about them. It makes me want to tear about my computer. But the problem is he occasionally does something kind of interesting, so it makes it seem like there's still reason for me to be subscribed to him. I personally am not subscribed, but actually I don't think like Suzuma doesn't really do too much technical stuff anymore. I would guess, but like I think like what we consider technical, like here in our little niche, has become quite exclusive at this point. So
Yes.
not that surprising.
Maybe
And
like at one point we should do another definition of what is technical Minecraft, like episode 1.
well, I would still call Kazuma a technical Minecraft, but I think I'm one of the only ones here. Like going back to our discussion from episode 1, I think most people thought differently back then.
I have no idea what I thought back then.
Oh well, it's a long
Like
time ago.
58 weeks ago.
57 to be precise. But yeah.
No, 58, right? This is 58.
We're recording
wait.
episode 58 to 1 minus. Yeah.
Well, now
Oh,
it's
well,
the
but-
week later because we're recording it later at 58.
But the thing is, whatever he is, I still actually like some of his videos are actually still quite useful. I would say like the one about Enderman spawning, so Enderman teleportation is seems to be the only source on that, and I actually used it like a month with. I think used it a month ago roughly when working on Sand Farm because I was wondering what blocks Enderman could teleport to make stuff Ender proof. There's some interesting results there which are unexpected, but like yeah, I mean of course like not the average Homecraft episode isn't gonna teach you too much about the way chunk loading works, but like I don't know. I don't
Hermitcraft
mind.
also doesn't have. It's not made for that stuff. It's for having fun
Yeah,
and
like I don't.
making videos where you build a house or you go fishing.
Well, I would
don't
say
know
that
what you do.
Hermitcraft has historically always been a bit more technical than, for example, Minecraft. But
Yeah, a bit more,
But not as
Yeah, like,
technical
I
as
bet.
us
It's
or
still
Psy
most-
or Zip.
no,
nice
ZK,
predictions. Well, they're ever still
but
doing
yeah,
something,
it's-
but yeah, like I mean that's yeah, I think that brings to my core opinion, which is that like, uh, why would you tear apart the computer just because someone doesn't know that much about chunk loading? Like,
But tearing apart your computer is
I mean,
fun.
like there's
You should
millions
do
of
it to
Minecraft
clean
users
it.
out there, and there's like probably only like 10,000 to know what laser chunks are. Well, maybe more than 10,000, but like you're gonna get very frustrated very soon. So yeah, I wouldn't get upset over that. That's the way the world works, and
you
frankly,
get
I don't even.
frustrated that quickly. Maybe just shut off your internet. Internet is It's full of weird people.
Weird people who don't know what laser chunks are. Yeah, I should tell my parents that.
No, not that way, but also in other ways. How in other ways weird. Not just that you know this very specific thing about a one game.
But yeah, I guess that's that comment out of the way. And in fact, that's all comments. So we can finally move on, I think after like over half an hour, to Lucky Pod of the Week. We are discussing MC55751. Ruff, you found this one, so maybe you should present it as well.
Yeah, it's basically game mode descriptions are off center. So in the create a new world thing, when you go and create and and choose a game mode, you actually the descriptions are off center, and someone noticed and made a bug report.
So yeah,
So
I think this
that's a
possibly has
bit of
to.
a useless bug.
No, it's not useless. It's very important. Everything on this page is. Oh, not everything is.
Yes, all the
Because
bug reports of the
world
week are
name,
important.
that's also not centered.
Yeah, that is left justified. That's
Yeah,
the
but the
point.
game mode description, that's also left justified.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, frankly, they don't even look that much off center, but oh well.
It is it's the confirmation status says it's confirmed. So does that mean
Well,
confirmed?
it's confirmed that
Yes,
it's less justified,
this is
but
like this, or is it confirmed? Yes, this is a bug that should be fixed.
well, he calls them floating descriptions. I suppose it would look a bit better if it was in the center, but nah, oh well. So yeah. Also, I find interesting how his cancel button is replaced by bugger it for some reason. So I'm wondering if he's playing on Parrot Speak or something. But
Sheen made a video about floating banners and signs, basically with a piston duplication thing of some sort. I don't really understand it since Sheen doesn't explain it very well. But they go away after a block update, but not after world reload, so that's fancy.
also, it's a short video. Oh my god, 53 seconds.
Yep. And he also showed a detector red duplicator that I thought was pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, about the floating signs and banner, I guess can quickly explain. Basically, the whole way it works is simply that you place signs and banners inside of ghost blocks. Well, he uses pistons. I'm not sure if that's supposed to, if that's necessary, but actually, the decent chance it is. But I
Oh,
suppose the
and
details will
white
be better
banners
explained by him.
get transformed to black banners, so free ink in banners. Yay!
That's also nice.
Very useful.
Yeah, indeed. Oh well. So yeah, you can see that in this video. I just wanted to quickly give a very short description of what's going on. All banners turn to black banners. Important to mention. Sorry. So, what else this week, Raf?
Oh, Legert presented his fast seed finding, and he explained a bunch of how structures generate, how the code working, how
What video was it? What did he make?
Legert fast seed finding. Basically, he explained how only the last 48 bits of the seed are used for actual structure finding, but for biomes, all 64 are used.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
And
like,
how can you optimize it?
well, I guess it's mostly for witch shots, right? Or I don't know. Like, I know
it's
that's
mostly for witch shots, yes.
yeah.
Richard and special biomes.
Like the whole population from strongholds to dungeons to witch shots, I think, is done using the 48-bit. Like, I don't know. Either the population is done mostly using the random object, it seems, and the random object uses 48-bit seeds. So that's that. But apparently biomes use different kind of random. Well, I suppose it isn't really random. That's the whole thing. In the end, like it has to form these clusters of biomes. So, I guess in a sense it makes sense that they made their own, like thing for that, so that it would map out to these nice biomes. But also be randomized in a sense. But yeah, so suppose you can watch that video as well. Will be down in the description. Anything else you want to discuss, Raf?
So basically, Legert also mentioned that he's presenting a library on how to have a fast seed finder, so you can write your stuff to find your own seeds. So maybe we can get someone to write a seed finder for Wout's for enemy seed, not Wout seed.
No. I'm like getting competition if you can't talk more like that. Oh well, maybe. Either way, I still think there's problem is I think there's a lot of choice when it gets to dungeon tech. Well, there's a lot of choice, but you need to make very, very good choices to get to a 72 spawner. So if you want to do that, it's probably possible if you pick the right seats. Like I showed an example where it's possible, but it's
Do the example seed.
no. I showed the proof of concept as in like it's possible if you can basically freely choose every dungeon placement and every chest placement. So technically that's not the way random number generation works. Like technically it may be possible that this particular configuration there's no way to actually get it in reality from the random number generator, but that chance is also pretty small, I think. So I think it's fair to say that it's possible, but you do need a lot of what's it called? Well, yeah,
Luck
luck.
and
I guess.
time.
Yeah, I guess luck, like or tries or whatever you want to call it. So I suppose that's that.
Yep.
Okay, rough. Talk more, or maybe Niels should talk.
I don't know. I think Niels should talk because Niels has talked the least in this episode.
Yes, Niels. Are you still there?
What? Yes, I'm here, but I don't
Niels,
have
what
a
did you see
list.
this week?
Well, let's see. What can I remember? Not a lot. That's what I know for sure.
Oh well.
He saw orange.
I-
He saw bicycles.
Yes,
We should
I
probably
rode my
mention
bicycle.
Sheen gave us a pretty big list again this week. In fact, I'll put it at the top of the news section. But like, I don't think we should discuss stuff which we haven't even watched at all. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's that. But
exactly.
you can watch it in the description if you're interested in just general stuff. But I'm sorry, we're also people who have lives and stuff, and we are also not all interested. Like usually we kind of cover each other on like areas we aren't interested in, except for command blocks because none of us are really too much into that. But like today, without enemy and stuff, it's going to be a bit well. This probably sounds pretty simple, but actually, if you think about it, it's a lot harder. Basically, it's a submarine made by Alex Yu. Well, of course, submarine. It's not properly defined. Like using your own definitions, you can make a very easy one, I guess. But like the one he made is actually, it looks fairly cool. Like it has a pretty nice dome at the front, and like you can go inside, and the dome is like a bit like a half sphere with, let's say, radius 3 to 4 blocks. And it's not that easy to actually push that, even in a one-directional manner. So I think that's pretty cool. And like if you look at it, it's pretty nice that it actually works. Like he uses slam blocks, and I suppose he's hitting the 12 block limit in a lot of places. It's a bit hard to turn it on and off, but it's still doable. So anyway, Cube Hamster made a showcase video about it, so you can watch it in the description. Alex Hughes submarine. So that's that for my first video I want to mention. And secondly, alright, I was going to alright. Okay, so this is I suppose going to be 2 videos probably. First of all, yeah, basically the thing is I didn't really notice Azelef's 2x2 with the skull slash pumpkin door back in the day apparently, which was in June. And now I saw, who was it again? I saw a video by Siberian and my Zuma games, which I'll also link. And they basically made a 2x1 door and was like, interesting. And I was like, oh my god, you can do that? Nice. And so yeah, basically I didn't really know till today when Sheen told me that that this has been done a long time before as well. So I think it's worth mentioning both of them, even though considering one of them introduced me to it actually. But yeah, apparently there's a lot of bugs as to how it calculates that, like how the sponsors calculate whether or not they can like create like a mob, like a wither or an iron golem and so on. So there's a lot of ways in which you can abuse that to place pumpkins and such without actually creating anything. And yeah, that's basically what both Azelef's and Siberian Hat's doors are about. And I guess I will leave that. Oh yeah, also Siberian had he discovered it together with Mazuma, I guess, and Azelef discovered it on his own, I think. So we will link to both of their videos. And I think that may be it for what I've watched this week, unfortunately. There's nothing in my subscriptions which is worth bringing up, I think. So yeah, we'll have to leave it to that. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Hello?
Nothing.
Well, you You guys are slow. Anyway, six-way flying machine
I have to
concept. Well,
scroll far back down if you want to see a Minecraft video I watched. That's
yeah, like I just think there's definitely a lot more things which happened this week than we discussed. But like, I'm sorry, I'm in my exams. Other people are also busy with stuff, and enemy isn't here. The podcast already takes a fair bit of time to do weekly, I think. So I don't. I rarely really do videos as like homework. I mostly just try to keep this a natural thing. Like normally, I think we have enough people to discuss enough stuff, but today it's a bit different. But I think it's still alright. Either way, so I guess that means we go to stuff we did this week.
I think you can make a nice graph with episode length and presence
Enemy.
of enemy.
That's not a graph. That's like it reminds me of version space algorithm, which we used in artificial intelligence. Like you can teach a computer with how the length correlates to enemy's presence. Well.
How about go do that at school?
Well, that's
after
not
your
entirely true,
exams.
actually, because version space is complicated and it's mostly it's an interesting algorithm, but it's mostly unapplicable. It seems. Oh well. But yeah, not after my exam. Not time for Samtech.
I made background footage. Don't have to use stock background footage. Yay. Well, I made together with Rav some storage thing, as you
We
can
made
see in
a
the background.
chunk loading.
And yeah, a storage for Goldstone Farm and item lines to it. But you won't see everything in background footage. This is you only see 1 hour, I think. A bit
Stay
less.
tuned for next week for the rest of that background footage.
So, Rav, what did you do this week?
I didn't do much. I had a quite busy week, but not Minecraft related. Sorry.
Well, that's a lot. Either way. So I guess I will quickly mention. First of all, I had exam this week, so that's that. Artificial intelligence went pretty well.
Yeah, me too.
So yay.
Virtual high five, Wout.
That's a high five.
Virtual.
Yay!
That totally
I
happened.
hadn't had my body exam yet.
Okay, well, I have a body-ish exam this week, being linear algebra, and also a body-ish exam the week after, which is statistics. But really, I don't like statistics, so. But I guess technically it's a field of mathematics.
Statistics.
So
Can't you do like statistic stuff like presence of enemy and graph and
yeah, like that's actually
present.
there are actual statistical techniques to like correlate that kind of
Yes.
stuff, but
You
yeah.
make those statistics. Then it's a fun body.
Yes. Well, the thing is, I think correlation is actually. I wonder if you can do it between a binary variable and like a quantitative variable. Oh well. Either way, like I still need to study statistics. I didn't really keep track of it well during the semester, so. But I've heard that it's not too.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's how I am as a student, kind of. But either way, I need to catch up
expecting
quite
a
a
lot
bit.
of students to be like that.
Well, I'm catching up on operating systems. Like catching up.
Bullshit.
I was doing alright during the semester as well. I'm almost through my book, and I'm also doing operations research on while we're doing that. Now, applied mechanics kind of messed up, so yeah, that's why I'm not gonna do much Minecraft in the next 2 weeks because I really like feeling like I should compensate and like work hard for the other exams because there's a decent chance I won't pass mechanics. But I'm not sure I should discuss too much of that on the podcast. However, what I will discuss is how I fought for my calculator rights because basically Friday was the mechanics exam. On Thursday, I was late night. It was like 12 hours before the exam, and I was like, let's check let's go online and get like the pages with the formulas which we can use during the exam because we need to print them. I did that, printed them. Then I saw the rest, a bit of the other stuff on the page, and I was like, wait, what? And then it turned out that they had changed the exam rules concerning calculators. And like they changed it in the past week because the week before I checked, and then at that point, basically, roughly speaking, they changed them in a sense that the one I was planning on using wasn't allowed anymore. But they basically indicated that earlier in the semester, like in November, but that post got removed after 2 weeks. So it was a very fake situation, and in the end, I ended up like sending a mail last minute, like trying to be very polite.
So,
Sorry, not being very polite, fighting for my rights, like being like, I need this calculator, you guys are assholes, and I will not back down.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Basically, I
what
got a
I
calculator.
think is that probably should tell you one thing: always screenshot that stuff. Always.
No. But like, you don't get it. Like, they never like. There wasn't like an actual argument. Like, I'm dramatizing. I never had to fight
Yeah,
for
like,
anything.
In here, like, I got my math teacher to let me use
Fun
my
teacher,
phone
funny teacher.
calculator, because I told him, well, they both work with zeros at one, so it's still a calculator.
Yeah, but you can do a lot more stuff on your phone. While
Yeah,
it
your
isn't
phone
looking.
has like Wi-Fi and 4G, and it can go to
I can
the
put it in
internet.
airplane mode.
And you can turn off
You
the
can-
airplane mode.
You
but
can put it. You can go to Wolfram
unlock it,
Alpha. Oh,
do
well.
one move and then click, and then airplane mode is off. So
Yeah, like I do get the math teacher there. Anyway, no. The thing
there's
is, like, it
one
was.
way that if you go to calculator mode and then have restricted access activated with a passcode your teacher makes, and then you can only
That
use the
sounds
calculator
Yes, of
very
until the
course.
annoying.
teacher
Yes.
fills in the password again. But yeah, if your
Either way,
teacher forgets, then you
no,
have
the
a
thing
bit of
about
a
the
problem.
calculators was that, like the calculator, like they basically like it's a very complicated rule change that at the Faculty of Engineering Sciences, which I'm not even a part of, but just that I'm taking. I and one other CS student is taking applied mechanics this semester because it's part of a choice packet, which about no one takes because it seems to be one of the other ones, which I'm finding out about now. But oh well. Also, I do find it more
Oh,
interesting, I
that's
think,
with
than
the
the other ones. But
civies.
yeah, but the civies, the evil civies.
Ah, heard
Basically,
great
they were trying to
stories
force
about them.
me. They were trying to force me to go to the civies student circle and like buy one of their calculators, even though I had one which they did use several years ago. But
They
in the
just
end,
want to get more money into the civi student economy.
yeah, like basically they have this like the student circles used to be established as like the students which like fight for the students, right? Well, not, basically it used to be a bit of a student union, as far as I understand, like that they would help the students out and
Yes.
stuff, and that because the universities weren't helping them out a lot. But they have become so close, like there's no competition anymore in any sense. Like there's you, almost everyone just joins the student union circle of their particular study, and like they also work very closely together with the university studies that they represent. So like there's not that much of a line anymore, except for that the student
They're
circles
basically
are
just a store
organized
for
by
the books
students.
and the calculators.
Yeah, like those are the most important services, I would say. But like other people are gonna disagree and say that it's about like the social activities and stuff.
I
But no, well,
really don't
I digress.
see why they restrict what calculators you can bring. It feels like a
Yes,
stupid rule, actually.
I think it makes sense because they don't want us to solve stuff too easily. Like,
That you cannot use every calculator, I get it, but the calculator you showed, that was really similar to the one I have, and the just difference is there's no
yeah, like the thing is like they used to have a
it's
list.
a small difference, like with a solar panel on top or not.
They used to have a
They
list of
can
like
just
25
say,
calculators, but those were all like what we usually call scientific calculators. So the non-graphical, like you can't plot stuff on there, you can't write programs. And I had one. I had a couple of those which are on the list, but they changed the system so that starting this year starting this year they have a new system which only allows one because, well, like, I suppose it's for administrative purposes. They just don't want to go to the hassle anymore. However, they
like,
the,
what I
c- com-
think is
the complicated
they
part is,
could
wait, I
just.
quickly want to explain this. The new rules only apply to the bachelor studies for the first year. So they're gonna next year they apply to the second year as well, and then the year after for the first 3 years. But like it's
Basically
it's
ensuring
pretty
that everyone
complicated.
who already got a calculator doesn't have to buy a new one.
Yes,
Only the
so
new
that's
students,
right.
they have that new calculator.
Yeah, but also considering I'm only taking one of these courses, which is part of the first bachelor of Civi stuff, that means that I never needed it for anything else. And like in our faculty, it's just like as a teacher, like there isn't a general policy towards calculators.
You can
So yeah.
just ask, is this fine? Yeah,
Well,
can it
actually,
calculate? Yes. Okay, fine.
Yeah, like my
yes, of course. Oh, well.
teachers. Like I one time Like, for example, my teacher didn't like my calculator because it can resolve stuff that he doesn't want me to resolve by calculator. Because, like, he's used to the really old calculators and stuff. Like, and they would have, like, why should I use a calculator from the 1980s? Like, seriously. The calculator that he
Well,
was suggesting was from the 1980s.
if you can buy it. But
Yes, you can. It's available. Actually, one that's most widely available, but.
At my
Well,
school, everyone has the same calculator, and yeah, before a couple of years ago, when we didn't need the graphical calculator, everyone had either the same or the old version of that same one. Because yeah, that's basically what they sold in the first year when you got to get your books.
They don't sell them at school. That's the thing. You have to actually go and buy your own calculator.
I've, at our school, they sold them at school on the
They
first
never do
day.
here.
pretty sure over here they do, but oh well. I should probably wrap up the story. So, in the end, I didn't really fight for my rights. I just like sent an email at the last minute to I think student services would be a good translation. And they actually, I wasn't the only person, and they were kind enough like to get stuff done. And I'm actually quite thankful to the person who helped me. Like in the end, I was allowed to use one of the ones I already had, which was previously on the list. But I did have to go to my exam like 45 minutes on beforehand and go to the student services and go to an appointment and stuff. But in the
They
end,
were
I'm still very
resetting it,
grateful.
so all your
Nope, there was
lists
no
that you
data on there.
Oh.
That's the thing is like scientific calculators. They have like 6 variables, like integer variables. You can't put too much
Ooh, that's
information
a
in there.
lot. Yeah, or you
Um,
maybe you can, but then you have to remember what that means.
yeah, like it's not gonna help you too much. Especially
You
with an
can put
exam.
stuff in your history.
Like I have most of the theory figured out in like my head anyways. Like the only piece of theory which would have been very useful at the time would be the cosine rule, which I forgot and actually would have helped a lot with solving one question. Like I even thought about proving it on the spot there at some point, but yeah. And then I didn't, and I tried to. Basically, the problem I was trying to solve is calculate the intersection of two circles, which I later on discussed with someone else, and he did actually tell me that yeah, it's one of the few problems where working with like factors and stuff is gonna make it harder. Probably like the analytical method seems to be harder than the trigonometric methods using distances and angles. Yeah, actually using basically, I mean, if you calculate the intersection between two circles and you like know the centers, know the radiuses, then you know all the distances of
Radii?
your triangle. Radii, right? Whatever. Um, then you know all the distances, so then you can use a cosine rule to basically get any angle out of there because your triangle is defined, and that
Yay.
makes it a lot easier. But I tried to go with the long way, and believe me, trying to go with just like using Pythagoras theorem on both circles takes you a lot of time, and the result I got wasn't even right. So I was like,
Can't you
screw
just enter
this.
that in your AI calculator?
Yeah, see, I couldn't. I could only do like basic calculations.
Oh.
Um,
Mm.
but the result I got in the end couldn't work. But I didn't have time to figure out what was wrong, so I just skipped that part. And well, I'm wondering if I had known the cosine rule, that I could have saved my exam. But yeah, like I'm not counting on the thing. But oh well, next time I guess we'll see. Like I still think I have a chance of passing it. It depends a bit on how they correct it. I will be very happy if I pass, but
Don't you have a second chance, anyways?
yeah, like we have a second chance in the summer, but it's very like I don't like studying in the summer, and
We
like
have a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance.
we have a second one, and if you mess up the second one, then there's like serious repercussions.
I have a
Well,
second
serious.
chance on one of the tests I made in the last half year.
We have second chance on every course, but like when I say serious repercussions, I don't mean like you get killed, but I mean just mean that there's like then at that point like it goes on your record, like it also goes on your record if you like do one on second chance, but it's complicated, but it's not nearly as important as failing that one as well. But so
What if you fail 2
I would
chances?
yeah, like then do you need to explain the entire university system over here? We have the credit system. Then you don't get the credits for your course, and you need to take it over that next year if you want to keep on going with the same study packets. And if it's been like after your third time, you need to like contact the dean about it or something. Like it's complicated. You can't keep on
Okay.
doing it infinitely, but I won't discuss it.
Oh,
So
that's
anyway, that
In
was the story.
here you can do it indefinitely, basically.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated, I
You
guess.
like you can be still trying on a course that you felt from first year on like your fourth year of uni,
Well,
and you can
yeah,
try
coffee
4 times per year.
4 times per year.
Yes.
Okay. Oh well.
So depending on the length of the career, you have a lot of trials.
So yeah, we should probably continue. I also made a video this week. It was mostly about stable chunk loading part 2, which I promised like weeks ago, but didn't get to until well, this week. Because I was still doing a lot of research and getting weird results. But I thought this week more, let's quickly get to this. Maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should have studied more. But oh well. It was the day before my AI exam, which went really well, so that's at least something. And yes, I'm about done. Anyway. So basically, I don't know for sure what to say about this. I quickly covered the 100 chunk unloading limit, which is basically that only 100 chunks are unloaded during every tick. As a result, if you want to do stable chunk loading, you need to take that into account and not load every chunk at the same time, because then you'll have, like, you won't load everything at the right time. Now, I did also cover that this stable chunk loading I presented could be described as just one version, which only seems to work for command block locks. Yes, like to get the dispenser working in one of these chunks, we need a lot more stuff. And I managed to get a working setup in a very particular case. So it seems to be possible, but only while I'm in overworld. When I go to the end, strangely enough, a lot of other stuff happens. And I don't fully understand why. Yewe, or no, I think it was Halvis and Yewe who suggested that it was because of the entity processing clock, which so I basically had to throw stuff through portals to keep the entities loaded in the overworld, which actually makes a lot of sense going from island farms, but I didn't think that through. So I did that, and did a bit of this, and that solves part of the issue, but there's still some very strange things going on. So either way, there's still a lot of stuff we don't understand there, and I would love to do it in such a way that we just do it with stable chunk loading, but I feel like it's not gonna work out. But if people find out a way, that would be very nice to make a farm like that. Because the current span I have relies on more basic principles, but it's also extremely big, and it requires like transmutation circles basically, which sounds stupid, but oh well. Yeah, I think that's that. Anything else?
Wout,
Yes.
do the outro.
Okay, this time on the Wout Show, we will discuss how Ralph apparently thinks he can just hijack the Wout Show announcement, which has been Niels' thing historically.
Wow, don't mention it. I cut that part.
I don't think he's actually gonna cut it.
I am.
Okay, then it's a weird
Bad
joke. Whatever.
Niels.
I also try to cut
Hashtag
as
bad
much
Niels.
keyboard noises and
But also, by the time you're
bathroom
listening,
noises and
by the time you're listening to
kitchen
this, you may
noises.
be making my linear algebra exam. If you're listening to this on Thursday, somewhere between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. CET, then I'm probably making my linear algebra exam, and you can think about how much fun I'm having.
Wout, how
Hold on.
many different colored lights do you have in that room?
Like one color
One?
being like
Is
yellowish
it
white.
flashing?
No,
How? What kind of music do you have then?
it's an auditorium. It's silent.
Oh, silence. That sounds
Like
like a
it's like the
fun.
music of people like writing and like opening and closing their pens and stuff. Oh well.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Either way, I guess that's that. So see you guys next week with a bit of a longer podcast, possibly with a bit of more enemy, possibly. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.